Damn, man. Man. Kings Capitals, who you got? Oh,
Really?
yeah.
That's how you're gonna lead off this lie?
Nobody's fucking watching. Oh, Brock's watching. Shit. Coop's watching.
I'm watching.
I haven't seen Coop in a while. He was in
I
that.
got caps, by the way.
Huh?
I got caps, by the way.
Oh, yeah, Caps. I thought you said you got Cash. I was like, Cash Curry?
Caps.
Dane's watching. Ross is watching. Evquan's watching. That's 5. You know what that means? I start the show.
Let's go.
Let's go, Ross.
Let's go.
Let's go. Ross,
Yo.
how was your weekend?
It was pretty interesting, man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was so interesting about it, Ross?
So, like, Saturday, right?
Yeah.
I went up to Shippensburg.
Shippensburg, Pennsylvania, home of the Keystone Flag Football League.
Correct.
Oh.
And there was this tournament going on
Yeah.
that this team called TBT entered.
TBT?
Yeah. Hashtag TBT.
Who's that?
On the official roster, I think we're what? Blunt?
Yeah, we're called Blunt in the National 9-man page.
I like it.
Jamie Wolf calls us Blunt.
I like it.
You know, we'll take it.
So yeah, that was
Hey,
my Saturday.
did you see we went up in the standings?
Did we?
52nd.
Oh, snap.
Come here, buddy. 52nd. Woo! Hey, what a good debut. 9-1.
52.
9-1, and officially 2 championships. I ain't gonna talk though. We didn't really earn it. I mean, not on day 2, but day 1. Woo!
I don't care what anybody says.
Woo! Wow. Let's do a quick recap of the Winter Chiller, shall we?
Yeah, let's
We
do
gotta at
it.
least talk about the Winter Chiller. It happened.
I mean, my
I
weekend.
have footage
overall,
of it.
My weekend overall, though, if I may finish.
Yes, I want to hear
On
about your weekend.
On Sunday,
You know I care about hearing what happens.
I ended up working out because my kid had a wrestling tournament.
Oh, okay.
And he went 3-1, but he also should have been 4-0. He didn't get the correct points on his one match. So, shout out to my kid.
Shout out indeed,
A
man.
little badass.
But you know what? I'm glad that you were able to go out and do that because
Yeah,
if the
don't
tournament
worry.
had happened, you wouldn't have been able to do it.
Correct. I would have went to the tournament because I'm that kind of guy.
You're a dedicated player, Rosser. We appreciate you.
Look, back to the Winter Chiller Saturday.
Winter Chiller recap. Let's go and
Chilly
take a look at it.
indeed.
Yeah, it was a very chilly day up
It
there at
was
Shippensburg. I think it was 32 degrees at kickoff.
It was cold.
So it was a chiller indeed.
Shout out to Brock Klein for the heat.
Yes, thanks. Shout out Brock Klein for that kerosene heater. It is so clutch every
Man.
single time.
My man.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. That is so clutch. And, man, it's a shame we don't do more winter stuff, man. This was really it when you think about it.
What are you going to do, man? Christmas is coming
I
up.
know. We got Christmas. We got nationals. Everybody needs a break. Let's just...
Right.
We need a chiller ourselves
Yep.
for flag football. But before we get to that, we got a lot to talk about.
Yes.
Beginning with the first game of the day, it was TBT and the Killer Bees.
Yes, it was.
And let me tell you, 28-0 does not indicate that this game was nowhere near that close. This game was one-sided. The Killer Bees did win one thing. Time of possession. TOP.
What? Do we have an official count on that, dude?
Dude, it felt like they had the ball for like an hour. What are you talking about?
It has to be at least double compared to what it has to be. It has to be like a 75-25% split.
It was
If I had to
insane.
guess.
Dude, they held the ball for an eternity,
It was
bro.
boring. It was really boring. I don't expect how you ever.
But-
I don't know how you expect your offense to get going when you take that long.
I feel like it was an attempt to play possession. They wanted to keep Chris Boone off the field in an effort to make sure he did not score a touchdown on them.
How'd that work out?
Hey, they only allowed 4 touchdowns.
Was it 4 different wide receivers too? Was it 4 or 2 and 1 and 1?
Something like that. I'm not 100%.
He scored so many touchdowns.
I think Hugh showed up in the second half and he just scored 2 touchdowns.
You might be right. I think Hugh did score 2 in the first one.
Yeah.
He definitely scored like right after he showed up.
He did.
Which was awesome.
It was awesome. It was a great moment. What a nice reunion there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Boone, Cannon, and Q reunited for that day.
It was a good feeling.
It was a very good feeling, man. It was great to see those guys again.
Dude, I turned around and saw Q. I was like, oh, Q's here.
Yeah.
He wasn't supposed to show up until the second game.
But he was there for the first one. He was there for both games.
Yes, he was.
Hey, shout out to the guys who showed up on Saturday. Shout out to those guys who showed up on Saturday.
Yup.
Those are the real team players. Shout out to those guys. Because we came out there and they absolutely balled in that first game against the Bees. 28-0. It just wasn't close. And you know what? Shout out to the Bees on the scoreboard. 28-0. You know, not bad, but the only stop they had was when we put Ant in and Ant threw a pick. And by that point, that was our 5th drive. And the rest of the game, we didn't get the ball back. So, clock ran out.
That's their one shining.
Because they were playing possession still by the 4th quarter.
Their one shining moment.
They did pick off Ant. And you know what? It's a shame there was not a rematch because they probably would have. They told me that they know how to beat Ant, so
they wouldn't have beaten Ant.
They wouldn't have beaten us.
They wouldn't have beaten us.
I don't think anybody would have, but that's neither here nor there. Let's be professional for a moment and go back to the recap. We came out there and just absolutely balled in that first game, and shout out to the guys who showed up. Indeed, thanks guys. It was a great day. Not much to write home about in this one. Second game, though, a lot to write about. Killer Bees, X-Dogs. First shocker of the day. X-Dogs, no Judd, no Kensor, no Brady, no Chili. Well, Chili was there, but
Judd was there, too.
Judd was there, too. Yeah, I forgot Judd was there. My bad.
Judd was there, too.
Judd was there, too. And the Dogs weren't on.
Judd's having issues.
Just
Chili's having injury issues.
And we saw the difference immediately in how the pass rush just wasn't getting to Devin Redmond in that game. Devin had a lot of time. Devin made a lot of moves. I feel like if you put in the Dogs in that game, I don't think it's as close to the game as it would have been. The Killer Bees were up 12-0 in the first half of this game. Matt Eisenberg threw a pick 6. How often does that happen where Matty Ice throws a pick 6?
Not very often.
Mind you, prior to this game, they had never had a close game against the X-Dogs. The closest one was 21-6 back in June. Remember that game? It was 14-6 in the 4th quarter. They almost got them, but just couldn't finish the deal. In this one, they had a 12-0 advantage. I thought in the first half, like, wow, the Killer Bees might actually upset the X-Dogs unless Eisenberg gets his magic. Look what happened. Matt Eisenberg pulled through in the second half.
Yeah.
What a comeback by the X-Dogs. And what is a makeshift team? They were pretty much putting a makeshift team out there in the field. It was not the same X-Dogs we saw in Washington County this past season or even in Keystone back in the spring. This was a very different Dogs team. And because of that, the Killer Bees were able to take advantage of it. And they were much more aware by the second game. They were gelling a lot better. They had a lot of red zone opportunities. They got down there 4 times, but they just could not convert on 2 of them. And the biggest key, or 3 of them rather, and the biggest key was in the last play of the game, clock ran out, time expired. He was pulled down 4 yards short of the end zone.
Yep.
So close, but they had the advantage. It was 12-0 at halftime. You can't blow that game.
Just cannot.
It's hard, though. When you're an upcoming team and you're trying to pull off the upset, when you're the underdog.
It's tough.
It is. Ross, you've seen it before. You remember when you had AFN on the ropes back in 2018.
It's tough.
The year they won county. It's very tough. And shout out to the Bees, though. You know, they played their asses off. They really did.
They did.
They came out there and put up a fight against us. They weren't backing down to us. They weren't playing scared. They were a little conservative, but you know what? That happens. That's a good strategy. You know what? Keep Chris Boone off the field. I think that's a brilliant strategy. Why would you want Chris Boone on the field? Think about it.
Right. It's a wonderful strategy.
Yeah. It's a great way to prevent the other team from scoring by keeping Boone off the field. Keep him on the sideline. He won't. He can't do anything. If he gets in on defense, okay, it's a little different. You might be in trouble, but just don't throw the ball in his direction. You'll be fine, maybe. That pass rush was pretty ferocious. Devin didn't have much time, but in that second game, he gelled a lot better. He looked a lot better.
He did.
He was balling. He was out there.
Pass rush wasn't there either.
The rush wasn't there, but at the same time, he seemed like he was a lot more confident in his abilities. He was out there running full force. He made guys miss. Devin's very mobile. That's a very underrated trait about his game. It's his mobility. But at the end of the day, Matt Eisenberg once again pulls through. He rallies the X-Dogs back, and they come away with the victory. Congratulations, X-Dogs, on the victory. That set up the final of that bracket. TBT X-Dogs, the rematch. The game we had waited for, that early slot. Who was going to be the one to come through in that bracket? And it was not what we expected, unfortunately. That moment where Mac, and I say it because the moment where Mac got injured was heartbreaking. 37-0 is not indicative of how the X-Dogs came out. I mean, you looked at it and they were already down Brady, Chili, Judd, and Kinsler. But to lose Matt as early as they did in that game, you could tell that was it for them. That was the leader of their team, and him going down was a scary moment for everybody to watch from the sideline. Yeah. Like I said, all I could think about was when he got injured back in 2016. Because I was there when he got injured against the West Virginia Ducks and was out for the entire season. That's all I thought about whenever he went down. I ran to the field immediately. I tried to make sure he was all right. Hoping to hear more from Matt soon. He came out there and he played through the bad circumstances he was given. He tried to play D-line to give him a pass rush. He lined up at receiver when needed. He lined up at quarterback. He did his usual thing. Unfortunately, he went down early, and from there, that was it. We were already on fire at that point. We were clicking and gelling. The X-Dogs were down. They were trying to fight back, but they just didn't have enough in the end. And losing Matt was very key in that. Final score overall, 37-0. And it really bites because of the fact that Matt goes down early on, and the game just goes downhill from there. I really hope he would not have played day two for the sake of his health, because that was a scary looking injury. Like I said, I hope he's doing all right. We did talk a couple of days ago. He's in good spirits. Hoping he's all right for the most part. Rest up for the winter, Matt. That's my advice.
Did Don Brown say he came and justify that as a real win?
It don't matter what Don Brown says. I'm talking about Matt Eisenberg right now.
True that.
But I'm just saying, like,
Matty Ice.
Take off the winter, Matt. You earned it. You deserved it. Go out there and rest up, man. And he is up for an award tonight.
As he should be.
He has earned it. Because 2019 was a year for Matt Eisenberg to remember. My goodness, did he have a great year. And we'll get to that later. As we move on to the next game. And that's Gusto Land and Ruckus. 33-0. Oof. Ruckus wasn't Ruckus. Let's be real here, though. Ruckus this weekend was Ian Fisher. It was two guys from Impact. You remember Impact? The team he played in York on Sunday morning?
Yeah.
There's two linemen. They played for Ruckus.
Oh, you're right.
They were on Ruckus over the weekend.
You're right.
They even wore the Impact jerseys to match.
Damn, you're right.
I know, isn't it? That was so cool, though. It was cool to see him, but 33-0 against Gusto Land. Gusto Land was clicking on all cylinders.
So looked real good.
They just absolutely annihilated them.
A lot of people.
They were ready for this tournament.
Ready to go.
Like, I could feel it from that sideline. They were ready for
a real
this.
Football team,
man. It's unfortunate because they balled. Gusto Land, let me tell you, a team to look out for in 2020 is Gusto Land. They're going to start traveling next year more and more. And let me tell you, I'm encouraging them. Try Atlantic City. Try Ocean City. Start out with those guys. Those are the tournaments you want to start traveling in. Really hoping to see Gusto Land pop up more. And you know what? I hope to join the Keystone Flag Football League, to be honest. That'd be some really good bump for everybody if Gusto Land joined Keystone.
It would.
I would benefit them because they would have a league in the spring. I don't know if YAFFL is doing a 9-man league yet in the spring. I haven't heard much about Yaffle in a while.
I thought I saw something like they were too.
If they are, then cool. I hope so. But if not, Gusto Land.
I don't know if it was 9-man though. It might have been 8-man.
Probably 8-man. But if not, the Gusto Land, please come to Keystone, man. If not, come to Washington County. Could you imagine Gusto Land, a county, too?
At the very least, do like Gusto Land.
We are going to be in Greencastle. It's only about, 20 minutes down the road?
Do a Yaffle, like, kind of super team, like, kind of deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, kind of TBT style. Do a Gusto Land. Do league play for 9. Get them all used to 9-man. Whoever wants to come out.
I like that idea. Get some Yaffle guys traveling.
Maybe not even call it Gusto Land. Just Yaffle get together and do a 9-man.
They did have some Baez guys there over the weekend.
Right.
They did have some Baez guys.
With a name, call it Yaffle. Hashtag Yaffle.
I think they'll keep the Gusto Land name. Trust me, they're pretty invested in that name.
Yeah, they are.
They are very strong about that name, and they are very strong as a team. They went out there.
Isn't Gusto Land a team from Yaffle though?
Yeah,
they play
they play 8-man.
So that's why I don't know how they feel about it.
They're going to keep the name. They keep the name. Trust me.
Do the whole Gusto Land team.
But they also bring in guys. They also brought in guys from around the Yaffle League for that tournament.
Or whatever.
Yeah. They went out there and did a great job. Shout out to them. 33-0 though. Rough time for the Raiders. I mean, Ruckus. I mean, Chargers. I mean, Railroaders. I mean, Ruckus. I'm not sure what that team was on Saturday. That was an odd team. That was the strangest Ruckus I've ever seen in my life.
They came out real flat.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that I took away Ian's two best receivers. Sorry, Ian. Next game was Misfits and Gusto Land. The game of the day. Oh my god. And unfortunately, live looked like shit when I tested it. At least Kato told me it looked like shit. So I was like, okay, no live then.
Whatever.
I have no idea, but I went and filmed it. It's on YouTube. 1080p film. Gusto Land Misfits. Go ahead and watch it. I recommend it.
I want to go back and watch it.
I recommend it. Great game. It is a classic from start to finish. 26-19 was the score. Came down to the final play of the game in the end zone. Gusto Land was just short of upsetting Misfits. We all play under names, different circuits. You know what happens. Everybody's whatever. But, like, they came out and balled. Gusto Land was great over the weekend. But Misfits were better in the end. And I'll tell you, the Misfits were loaded, Ross. They came fully prepared for this tournament. I mean, they started out with Tay Sosa in that game in the first half, and he was getting the offense going, and then Trail shows up and takes it to the next level. Oh, they came fully loaded, dude.
Yeah.
That was a stacked team. Misfits were ready.
That just goes to show you how good Gusto Man was too, though.
I know, but they managed to stand up to that team and play them as well as they did.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that felt like a circuit game. That was a circuit game being played there in Keystone between Gusto Land and Misfits. Excellent game from start to finish. It is on YouTube. I do recommend watching it. Go on there and see it.
I am going to have to go back and watch that for sure.
Definitely. The last game of the day, Misfits and Ruckus, 24-0 the final here. Ruckus actually played pretty hard in the first half. They were, like, close. They played them tough initially, but they just couldn't finish the job. They really couldn't. Misfits were just better. And in fact, they were just way better and probably should have won by more, to be honest. Ian just couldn't get in the end zone. He threw a pick six. There is a funny moment, though, where Ian throws the pick six and the entire Misfits team gathers for a team photo celebration. Ian jumps into the photo to photobomb it. You can see him posing in it. And then there's a photo of it edited of Ian. And I'm going to post it in the chat in a moment because it made me laugh my ass off after he photobombed it. I'm going to post it. I'm not going to say it because saying it makes no sense. Because saying it makes, you know. Because they dominated him all game. And then they even got him off the field after the game. So Ian's photobomb ends up being a backfire in the end. If I get it to paste. Hold on. Is it going to go in? Cool. Maybe. I posted the link to it. See if it goes in. Throw it. Facebook was being weird about posting the image. But they got him on the field and off the field. The game wasn't close whatsoever. Misfits dominated them. They were good. And it's a shame we didn't get, huh? You just see it? Yeah. There's the photo. So the final rankings going into day 2 were number 6, Ruckus. Number 5, Killer Bees. Number 4, X-Dogs. Number 3, Gusto Land. Number 2, Misfits. And number 1, Team Blunt Talk. What can we say?
We scored a shit ton of points.
Yeah. And that's how we got it. So day 2, we were sitting there. I was up on Saturday night. I was thinking of my game plan and everything else, and had a couple beers, and
I was ready. I was ready for it to go either way.
I was waiting for it because I'm sitting there. I'm like, I don't want a game plan yet because I'm kind of tired, but I'm also like, we got a game plan for something tomorrow.
I was ready.
I was pumped. I was excited, and then
It was an awesome day.
It would have been. Because I thought about it. We would have had a Killer Bees X-Dogs rematch without Matt Eisenberg at quarterback. We would have had Gusto Land probably eliminate Ruckus. But I heard the Ruckus guys are bringing the Charger players with them.
Right.
So it would have been the Schraders again. The Schraders team. That
Schrader Ruckus.
Shruckus.
Schraduckus.
Chuckus.
Something like that.
Raiders. we're just flag football players. Team names are like irrelevant at this point. um, number we would have had that.
We would have bees against.
We would have had bees against us again, which would have been interesting.
I think bees would have beat X-Dogs on that.
I think they would have too, because Isaiah, I believe, would have been playing that game at quarterback. I'm not sure Isaiah could have gotten the offense going the way Matt does.
Right.
You take Matt off the team, and that's an entire game changer.
Yeah.
There goes a defensive lineman, quarterback, wide receiver, DB, all at once.
Yep.
And if you go with Isaiah, you can also go with George Nunn too. George Nunn stepped in 2016 and got him to the semifinals in county. So it could have still been an advantage to the X-Dogs to put even Georgie in. I don't know. It would have been interesting, that's for certain, because the Bees told me they had more guys coming day 2. And I'll be honest, I'll admit it, we had less guys coming for day 2.
That's true.
We were looking at, 15 to 20 at day 2?
We would have pulled more than I think we would have. I think we would have more than.
I think we would have had.
We would have had, but
I feel like it would have.
It would have been interesting.
I feel like it would have been intriguing because it would have been a new challenge to us to try to make an adjustment.
I'll be the first person to say it would have been interesting.
It would have been an entirely dramatically different team. I'll go ahead and say it. Like, we would not have had the same team on terms of what it was, but we would have carried the spirit from day 1.
Somehow, some way, we always click.
We always do. Like, this is the thing. Like, Team Blunt Talk literally comes together just by me sitting here hitting people up and being like, hey, you want to play some flag football? And then being like, maybe, I don't know. I'll let you know. If I hit them up again and I'm like, you want to play? And then they're like, yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Don't give them the secrets.
It just happens, man.
Don't give them their crazy.
It just happens, man. People say, well, I mean, the Killer Bees asked me, how much money did I pay for this team? I just paid my $25 to put the team going, man. I mean, it's just what it is. It just happens. No need to boast. I mean, it's a shame that we didn't play day 2 because I feel like we would have beaten Bees. I know we would have beaten Bees.
Yeah,
contrary to what they tell me. They tell me otherwise, but I know. I think everybody thinks they would have won day 2.
Because we would have still had pretty much the same O-line, D-line. The lines weren't going to change.
The lines were going to change. You're right. But I think the biggest thing,
I didn't even play.
I feel like the biggest thing would have been, who do you think would have won between Misfits and Gusto Land? Considering that Tyler Murdiff was going to be the Misfits quarterback for day 2.
That was the matchup I was really looking forward to.
That game that had potential because Gusto Land might have came with more too. They might have came with 30 day 2. We don't know.
Because I don't
so much left unanswered.
What you say about TBT? We did not ask for the seating. We did not ask for a schedule. I'm pretty sure we were maybe one of the only teams that didn't even have a true schedule request.
It happens. I mean, you play who you play. I mean,
correct.
I'll be honest. I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh, we won. No, we did great, but like, it didn't been finished. And honestly, I feel like against Misfits Gusto Land, it would have been an interesting final. Because it would have really, truly measured how good we truly were.
Yeah. He said Misfits.
The winner of that. Because I don't think... I don't know if Ruckus could have came there day 2 with the way they looked at day 1.
Right.
That team just looked defeated.
Right.
They put up no points in day 1. I don't know what Charger players they had coming, but it just didn't really work out. But... we'll see. It's a shame we don't finish it. I'm still up to finishing it if anybody else is. I'll gladly... I mean, they're giving me the plaque. I'm going to probably just put it down somewhere.
We still taking this W.
I mean, I'll take the wins. It happens, but like...
twisted. We're still taking this W.
Well, it's also at the same time, it's like...
if y'all don't like it, you should score more points.
I'm willing to defend it. If anybody's up to finishing this tournament, like, I'm up for it. I ain't gonna... I mean, it probably won't happen, but I'm putting the offer on the table. I'd like to do it. I would have loved us to play Gusto Land and Misfits. Like, those were the games that I really wanted to see.
We need to have that someday.
We could have said we played, like, we could have played the best... We played a pretty good schedule this year, though. Like, I'm gonna reflect on Team Blunt Talk one more time before we move on to the awards. Because there's not much to say about day two anymore. It hardly hasn't been said. It was BS in a way. It was also Parks happened in a way.
And
we know it from
also
county.
all knew that was.
We did know. You're right.
What it was.
You're right.
If y'all don't like it, you should have scored more points on Saturday.
Just,
Period.
You're just happy to end the year on a high note.
Why not, man? I'm taking that shit. If y'all don't like it, should have scored more points.
Oh, Ross.
We scored the most points. So.
But if I can be humble for a minute, thank you guys for everything.
We already did all that, Blazer.
No, thank the team and thank everybody who.
Yeah, no, hell no. Definitely thank our team.
Yeah.
We had an O-line. I barely played, and I ain't complaining.
We
One
had
of
a good time.
TBT's biggest issues has been O-line. We have plenty of them.
Yeah, I was afraid we were gonna have anything. I only had 11 guys committed at 11 a.m. on Saturday.
He played center
or Friday
much all day.
Shout out to everybody, man. I only
had TB too.
It didn't look good for this one. I only had 11 that were 100% committed at 11 a.m. on Friday.
That's
and we pulled in 30.
They can say what they want, man.
We just find a way to pull it out of our asses and go out there and play. I don't know. It's like magic.
Sketchy.
Maybe it's Chris.
I was down Thanksgiving. I'm like, man.
Perhaps it's Chris.
Do I really want to leave Thanksgiving early to go up there and ride with 13, 14 guys and see what happens?
I understand that because it's going to be cold and you left Lake Anna to go to Shippensburg. That's not something most people would want to do,
I came home Friday. We did a live show.
Mm-hmm.
An hour after I got back home. And then woke up Saturday morning, drove all the way to Shippensburg, which is up there, man. You gotta go way up 81 for that.
Oh yeah, I forgot how far Shippensburg really was.
Once you're on 81's a boring ass road, especially once you drive it after the fifth time.
It's a lot of sheets there.
There's really not much else to look at, and I've taken that trip. Playtime. All the way up to Carlisle, jump on Pennsylvania Turnpike.
Well, I will say this. I'm just glad we all get to see each other one more time again.
It was cool, man. It was a good time.
Let's think about it like this, guys.
I wish I could have stayed all day.
Yeah. None of us will see each other again for the most part till what, March or April?
For the most part,
yeah. Unless we all because none of us really hang out much outside off the field unless we live nearby and all that. Some of us are scattered apart. I mean, our league spans from Baltimore to DC to Winchester, and we all come together at a field every single week to play a game of flag football from different places, different backgrounds, everything else, and I enjoy it every time. I always have fun.
At the end of the day, it's all for love of the game, man.
It is love of the game and just to have a good time, man. That's all we do. Every single week we go out there. From March to about November. We almost had a December day. This was a perfect end, though. This was a perfect end. It was a nice Saturday.
It was?
Yeah, it was a perfect Saturday. I did too. I was glad to see the guys again because I'm not going to see most of you guys till March or April. It's a long time.
Like when he said, unless you're going to a diaper party.
Diaper party, any party. If you got a party, always invite me. I'm always down, man. I'm looking for things to do at nights.
That is a very true fact.
All I do is go to bed.
Blazer is a guy that will end up showing up at your party. Least when you expect him to. He is that guy.
I'll be there. Just hit me up.
Randomly woken up in Brunswick before and all kinds of stuff. So you just never know.
Oh, you saw that live stream?
Yes, I did.
That was a good one.
I got to walk to my damn car.
Oh, I was living, man. They told me I had to park half a mile away, but that's not important anymore. Let's move on to relevant things.
Let's do your awards.
Moving on.
They want the awards, Blazer. They
want the awards.
That's what they came for.
All right. Fine. I'm going to try to do the awards. Starting out with the first one, Captain of the Year. I kind of based it on the way teams were built up and designed and how they held up throughout the season. In comparison, especially as the year went along, spring was used as context for a lot of these awards. Like I used spring as a way to looking back at how time progressed and how players progressed. That was mostly my idea for using spring as part of it, just as context to see how things change over time.
Yeah.
You examine the growth of a player, or you examine when a guy stepped in. To me, that was kind of an important way of doing it. And for the three of these candidates, I evaluated the way they did it throughout the year, and that's why I chose them. In the case of Dame, what stood out to me the most was his ability to keep ADR as the top team in the league throughout the year, no matter what roster they had every week, and his ability to bring in talent to that team was insane. They had a very stacked spring roster to the point where it was almost unfair to see them out there every week. In the case of Tom, he's kept Broadax afloat through some very rough times. They have not been the same, man. They have not been the Broadax of old.
True that.
It's not like you see the guys there. Don't get me wrong. Like the faces are there, but it's not the same thing, you know? And so, truthfully and honestly, I feel like with Tom, he's done a great job. He brought in Timmy Townsend and guided him along the way through a very rigorous, tough Washington County Flag Football League. This is a kid starting at a young. He took a kid at a very young age, at 18, and brought him in and taught him 9-man flag football out there in the field on this level. And did it against the likes of X-Dogs and ADR and Warriors, teams that have ferocious defensive lines in a league that arguably had its strongest year this year. This past season was probably its strongest. Like, not even the Railroaders were pushover this year.
That's true.
Everybody had fight in them. The Red Knights struggled and everything else, but everybody, for the most part, was out there playing tough. So, in the case of the third nominee, you, Ross.
Yes, sir.
I looked at how the Warriors went from being the team they were at the end of last year, which was a total mess. Uncertainty all over the place.
True.
1-8 season. An offense that wasn't going anywhere. The question were the Warriors destined to stay in the B bracket forever?
Oh, shit, you're talking about last fall.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Wild times.
Yeah.
Wild times.
You guys weren't very good last fall. But you were very good in the spring. Only 5-5, though, in retrospect. But
Correct.
the real turning point for you guys was back in May after the 0-2 start. It was when you were ejected in a game. You remember? You and Kyle Marshall were ejected against Ruckus.
Correct.
The turning point of the season.
It's the only time I've ever been ejected ever.
Do you realize what your record is ever since that game?
What is it, Blazes?
11-6.
I'll take that.
Compared to where you were sitting at 1-10 in the previous 11 games.
Right.
And you rode that momentum into the fall. You almost knocked off ADR in the semifinals back in the spring.
Yes, we did.
You managed to improve the Warriors this past fall to a 6-2 season. The best in franchise history. The best offense in franchise history. and one of the highly rated defenses in franchise history. You brought in new talent. You revolutionized the team. You turn them into a contender. And that's why, Ross, you get Captain of the Year.
Thank you.
Is that your only thing to say?
That's my speech.
That's your speech?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank my team, man. It ain't about me, man. I'm just out, dude. It's like I've always told them. They started calling me coach a while ago. I just told them I'm a very good group organizer. That's what I got. I don't know. I don't like attention on myself. So.
No, you've done an excellent job, Ross. On the field and off the field. You've taken this team to a new height.
I missed a couple games this season. There's a couple games we should have won. Should be Broadax.
It happens.
Should be Broadax.
You have losses along the way. But truthfully, looking back at what you've done all season, Foster wants you to come on camera.
Yeah. Foster wants a lot.
Good old Foster.
I'll take it. Thank you, Blazer.
You're welcome, Ross. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. It ain't easy, man.
I know. I understand the struggle. Trust me. Got done running into myself this past weekend.
Thank you. Let's go Caps. They just scored, by the way. Fuck the Kings.
Fuck your team. The next award is for Most Improved Player of the Year. These guys stepped up and improved their game on the field. The nominees are Ian Fisher for taking the Brunswick offense to its highest performance on the field in the history of its franchise. You got to understand where Brunswick was before Ian. And as a quarterback, his play improved throughout the season to the point where he was putting up numbers as the year went on. And he was a very key part of their success. But another part of their success was Eric Jones, who really stepped up and shined this year for Brunswick. Offensively and defensively.
Right.
I believe he led the team in touchdowns.
Yeah, he played it.
The two of them were very key in improving the Railroaders. Albeit only to a 2-6 record. The reverse of that comes in the form of what Alex Foster did this past season for the Warriors.
Correct.
Stepping in and putting up record numbers on offense. Taking over as perhaps the franchise's single season leader on terms of touchdowns and possibly yards.
Does he beat Shob? Shob's the only that Shob can honestly be the only contention there.
He stood out pretty well. He was averaging
That's
about almost 3
interesting.
on average.
I kind of want to look into that. That's interesting.
Foster was putting up about roughly 2 to 3 scores a game.
Shob can, Shob can literally be the only contention of that. So
On average,
That's
your
good.
offense ended up with 19 points per game
That's
at the
a
end of
good
the
one.
year.
He might be there.
And Foster went from being a starting safety on your defense and returner to being asked to be the leader of the team on the field, essentially. The quarterback is a very important position,
It is.
especially on and off the field.
It is.
And Foster took that extra step this year and showed he could do it. He could run the job. He took the Warriors to a 6-2 record and helped to get you guys to the playoffs. That was a big deal for you guys, quarterback-wise. The offense was struggling. It was stagnating as time went on.
True that.
You needed to reform it a little bit. And Foster was a big part of that reform as he was able to move the ball with his arms and legs and be able to produce a passing attack that had not been seen before by your team.
Some good shit. Some good stuff we had this season, Blazer. It was some good stuff.
And that's why I give the award for stepping up in terms of going from being part of a team to being the guy at the position that matters on terms of the offense and getting it going. Because the quarterback is your director of the offense. He's the one who needs to call the plays. He's the one who needs to get the ball moving. He's got to find the open receivers. If he doesn't get the ball there...
Right.
Exactly. Part of it's finding the guys. You may have the talent around you, but Foster, you're the winner, bud. Congratulations. As we try to see if we can call him in really quickly. I got it muted, though, because of the fact that I don't want the ringing to come through. Alex, you're the winner. I know you're watching, or was watching. Are you hear me?
Joey B.
Hey, sir. Congratulations. Most improved player of the year.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. That means a lot. That means a lot.
Foster!
There he is. Hey, glad to see you on camera, too, Ross.
That was for you, though.
Well, Alex, tell me, what was the biggest difference in this past season compared to others where you were asked to come out and be the guy at quarterback, whereas other seasons you had not exactly been quarterback. You had played safety. I'd seen you play wideout a little bit. I know you played some QB back in the Market Street days. I do recall that, but that was a while ago.
Yeah,
That's almost forgotten by the league that you were a quarterback at 1.4 Market Street.
It's been a while since I've been back at the quarterback position, I'll tell you that. It's definitely been a while.
What was the most difficult part about going back to it?
Being on a new team, man. Being on a new team is tough. You know, I don't really know everybody's skill sets. I don't know, what they're comfortable doing with. I'm trying to learn, if they know the route combinations, if it's just coming into a brand new team, brand new players, brand new friends, everything. It's tough to learn. It's tough to learn everybody's, routine.
Oh, yeah. And the Warriors went through a lot of changes in your receiving core, the additions to McKinley White and Isaiah Keys. Tell me, what was the hardest thing to do with adjusting mid-season to the additions of Mac and Isaiah?
I'm sure a lot of people know this already, but we had a lot of threats on offense, a lot of potential playmakers at every wide receiver position, even the running back position with McSherry. It's hard to have 6, 7 top tier players and get them all in an offense. I can't give the ball to everyone. I can only make one throw at a time, or I can only hand it off or run myself. You can't spread the ball around to everybody. So it doesn't matter how many good people you have on the field. You can only make one pass at a time.
Well, of course, it also is difficult when the additions are coming mid-season, and a lot of the times you guys had a lot of breaks in between games. There was a 3-week gap where there was no play.
That was tough too. It seems like right as we started getting some rhythm, myself coming in, putting a new position in, get that rhythm. Now we're off for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks at one point. Even though granted some of us still played either at other leagues or had a tournament to go to. I'm not playing with the Warriors, so that again that rhythm is it's broken, and everyone, offense and defense, both kind of hurt, and as you can tell from that Broadex game, we definitely took a hurt in that game.
That was a hard one to watch. You guys just were not like Broadex. Just looked like they came out full throttle, ready to go. You guys seemed like you weren't in sync early on, and they controlled it for the most part, but you guys did bounce back. You did finish second overall in the league, 6-2, the best team in the history of the Warriors. Arguably, Foster, your best season.
Yeah, it was nice to change to a team and have the success we did. And I don't take anything away from Cody, who started the season this year and led us last year to a semifinal loss, unfortunately, again to ADR. But he led us there, and he's in a tough position too. A lot of new players coming around him, a lot of new players to the team. It's hard to adapt, and so I mean it's nice to be a part of a changing team. I'll tell you that. I've been on a lot of teams in this league. Market Street Mayhem to AFN to other Mayhem. Warrior. I've been on a couple different teams, and there's been a lot of changes. So it's a tough thing to grow with. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And truthfully, Foster, you grew up this year in that quarterback position, and I look forward to seeing what you do in the spring, especially with a full year under your belt. We'll see how the Warriors come out this next spring with you at QB and see if you can possibly step up and get to the MVP category.
I mean, that's the goal ultimately. Ultimately, we just want to keep winning and keep moving forward. We definitely have a lot of stuff to go over in off season, but I think we're making steps in the right, making moves in the right way, and trying to get the team where we want to be. 6-2 is definitely nothing to be shy about. I mean, I'm proud of the 6-2 record. It sucks we lost to ADR again, but I mean, look at them. They're league champs for what, 3 years, not 6 seasons, whatever it is. What is it?
3 seasons in a row.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm not mad at it. I'm a little disappointed for sure, but it's something for us to grow on. I'll tell you that.
Yep. And we'll see what happens next season, Foster. Once again, thank you for joining us on Blunt Talk. Congratulations on the award.
Appreciate it, and congratulations to everyone else that wins tonight. And I look forward to see who else got those awards. I'll be watching.
All right. Thank you for joining us,
All right,
Alex.
Man. Have a good one.
The first 2 were Warriors, so.
Warriors so far. There is a Warrior nominated for this next category.
What you got next?
Depends who just messaged me. Ain't coming up. Okay, I see it now. The next nominee is defensive lineman, or next award rather, is defensive lineman of the year. The nominees for this one from ADR, AJ Reynolds.
Let's go.
Let's go. He's been a force in that defensive line for a long time now.
He has.
And he makes it known whenever he gets that sack every time. Trust me, you can hear him.
He even lets them know when the other people get sacks for his team.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go! I can't do AJ, but AJ knows what AJ does.
Another nominee is one of the biggest beasts in the middle of the defensive line for your team, Ross, the Warriors. I'm talking about Cam Schiffler himself. One of the toughest linemen out there in the Washington County Flag Football League, and one of the more deadly forces on the inside.
I feel like he has to be the toughest, man. He literally got his wig split.
He did. He got that elbow.
And came off smiling, man.
I saw the pictures. That was a rough cut he had, but he came out ready to go, wanted to get in the next play. I think he's ready to come back the next week, too.
When you talk about build different, you have, the definition of build different is Cam Schiffler.
Indeed.
That's a fact.
He is a monster.
That's a fact.
And the last nominee from the X-Dogs, I'm talking about Brady.
Oh, yeah, there's that guy, too.
And Brady, what a season he had. Part of arguably the best defensive line in the Washington County Flag Football League. Brady was a shining star on that line.
Praise be still.
And that is why I have to give this next award to Brady himself. Jason Brady, congratulations if you are watching. Accepting the award on his behalf. I actually can mute it. Yep, let me mute it real quickly. No answer? What? Try again. He doesn't answer this time. I'll just move on. I had a guy accepting more on his behalf, but I don't think he's ready. I thought he said he was, but he wasn't. If not, we'll move on. Happens. Chili. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you, Joey.
Chili, you're accepting the award on Brady's behalf. He recommended you do it for him. Anything to say on Brady's run this past season with you on the X-Dogs?
Oh, man, I tell you what. Brady doesn't get a lot of credit for what he does because he has a probably one of the best overall D lines I think that has ever hit the Washington counter with me, Kinsler, Judd, and Brady himself as well. So this is definitely well deserved, way overdue. Like I said, we definitely improve each other, and shouts out to everybody else who was in this category. But Big Brady, bring it on home, baby.
Yeah, he had an excellent season. You, him, Kinsler, and Judd. What a defensive line the X-Dogs had this season, and it showed as they allowed 9 points per game, the least amount surrendered in the league. Number one defense overall. That line was a big part of it. And I'll tell you, like we said earlier, Ross, that was a big part of what was missing last week in that winter chiller was that defensive line.
100%.
And you guys just make an absolute big impact. Brady especially, he stood out the most to me this season. There were games where he had at least more than 4 sacks in him. It was insane. He was just balling. I remember at least 2 instances where he was just out there killing it.
As he does each and every game that he shows up on the O line and D line, and keep in mind that for the most part of the season, the X-Dogs we rush 2. We don't rush by committee. We rush by, mano a mano. We're gonna line that shit up and we're gonna get it cracking. And me and Brady, we handle business this season for like I said, for the most part, just running 2 when Kinsler and Judd when they were healthy, you know what I'm saying? Then we did it by committee, but for the most of the season, it was a 2-man show.
Yeah.
So, but shout out to everybody else. My big dog Brady, we down. We the dog pound, baby. Bringing it on home.
Indeed, and a big shout out to the X-Dogs. You guys had a wonderful season. Chili, I hope you're recovering well. How are you doing recovering from your injury currently?
Oh, I am on schedule for a December 13th. Should be back in motion. I have a states tournament in December coming up, the 14th and 15th.
Okay.
So hopefully I go back down to Virginia like I did the 9-man in Virginia Beach. I brought back the championship.
Who are you playing for?
I'm playing for Showtime.
Showtime.
Showtime, baby. Showtime it is. You know what time it is. It's Showtime.
Chris Boone?
Chris Boone, baby.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
Looking forward to seeing that combination.
Yeah, so we're gonna. It's been nothing but success. When we linked up with Chris Boone, he lets me be me. He uses my strengths to his advantage, and we make it happen. So hopefully we can bring back a championship.
Hey, I like to see it, man. Definitely like to see it. I'm cheering for you all the way.
Yes, sir.
Showtime.
And shout out to my 9-man AFN Nation. We're going down to nationals, so hopefully we can bring back. Well, not hopefully, we're going to bring back that national championship. So
I look forward to seeing you guys down there next month at. Sorry, we can't call it nationals. It's worlds now.
Quotation worlds. Apologize, everyone.
Man, that's just nationals, though. That's just nationals, dude.
I ain't mad at you.
It happens.
Come on, man.
All right. Hey, Chili.
Hey, chill.
We all saw that wonderful ad that you had on YouTube over the weekend and on Facebook during the Misfits and Ruckus game. Is it possible you could give us one last quick ad break real quick while I step away?
Oh, most definitely. So, everybody listening to this broadcast, this is brought to you by the United States Navy. This is your local Navy recruiter, Petty Officer Gist. My phone number, 717-414-0353. I won't feed you no BS. As you can see, I'm living proof that you can do both. I'm in county with y'all for the last 4 years, every season. So reach out to me for your needs for the military, for the Navy, to be exact. Like I said again, 717-414-0353. Reach out to me. We can make it happen.
Yeah, go Navy. And also go Caps, by the way. They're up 2-0. They're up 2-0. John Carlson with 2 goals against stupid-ass Kings. Figured y'all would like to see a good hockey team represented here real quick. And back to Blazer, who'll be back in a second.
I'm back right now. I'm on good.
Here he comes.
Good, all good, all good. Thank you, Chili, once again. That is Chili, United States Navy. He gave you the number. Hit him up if you're interested in joining.
Oh, yeah.
And Chili will be up for another award later on tonight, and we'll see if you'll come away with one yourself.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll let you know.
Yep.
Our next award is the other side of the ball.
What you got?
Offensive Lineman of the Year. Our nominees are, from the Warriors, a very key piece to your middle.
Correct, Mundo.
We're talking about Brock Klein,
The key piece.
the key piece to that middle. Brock Klein, who was your only center, I believe, correct?
There wasn't much backup plan to it, no.
That was something you guys that were kind of low-key about your offensive line, was that you only ran 3 deep all season. Maybe 4.
There was like a
There,
4.
Mike Leonard showed up once. Cuzzo showed up once, but they weren't always there.
Right. For the majority of the season, yes, we had 3 O-linemen. It was me, Brock, and Joe.
Mm-hmm. And the honest biggest piece of that was Brock in that middle, because the center position is something that's very crucial to the offense when you think about it. You have to have somebody snap the ball, right? Right? Ball has to get to the quarterback somehow.
You absolutely have to.
And you have to have someone who can block, correct?
Correct. You have to be able to do both.
You got to do both. That's a hard thing. You got to be able to put the ball down, keep your head up, snap it back, put yourself up, and then proceed to hold a guy for at least 2 seconds, maybe 3. Every single time.
Yup.
The play depends on whether or not your ball gets to the quarterback properly or not.
Yup.
If it doesn't, the play's dead when it hits the ground. It bounces, right? Ball's got to get to the quarterback.
We used to do that all the time.
Ball's got to get to the
Back
quarterback.
when Keith Cameron was the center for the Warriors. That was our biggest problem.
Way back in the day. Another nominee is an experienced center who had the dual responsibility of coaching up his young player in Timmy Townsend and playing center at the same time. We're talking about Tom Hoffman of Broadaxe, who helped lead Broadaxe through what was, for the most part, a season where it could have gone really bad or it was really good. And it went really good for them. When you put out a young kid at quarterback, it's difficult.
True.
It's even more difficult when you're playing yourself. He's managed to keep the core there, but at the same time, he's also managed to keep a high level of play on that offensive line as years have gone by. Another nominee on the line has been Jason Kinsler for the X-Dogs. He has stood out this season. He's gone both ways at times, but for the most part has played on the O-line. Very key in giving Matty ice time. Excellent blocker, excellent football player overall. Yeah. Looking at the three, this was a tough one.
Give it to all three of them, man. Make a unit.
This was tough.
That's what I would do.
Hey,
That's just me.
Because Brock can play guard too.
He could.
I've seen him play guard.
He can.
He can. He did it.
He would.
He did it in York.
If he really needs to, he can.
He can. He's versatile.
That's why I don't want to hear no bitch. He's playing defense the whole time.
That's why Brock
Nice.
is your offensive lineman of the year.
I like it. I love it.
You love it?
I love that decision.
You love that decision? Of course you do.
Of course I do.
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't I? Those are all legitimate questions.
Brock, you are the winner, and you told me you're at work. Can I call you in is the question. I think the stream is way behind, so I don't know. I'm going to see if I can. I'm going to try to. If he doesn't answer, it's okay. Yo, Brock.
Hold on.
My man.
Hello?
Brock!
What's up?
Congratulations. You did it.
Oh, thanks.
Offensive lineman of
Not
the
what
year.
I wanted to do.
How does it feel, Brock, to be good at a position that you don't particularly care for?
I mean, it's an awesome feeling to be good at something that you hate.
It is. I can imagine. You've been a dual threat. I've seen it all season as a center and a guard, as well as the fact that you were very key in the Warriors' O-line sticking together. You added the equation, it's just Ross and Joe, and that's it.
He took one on the chin.
You stepped in. You were crucial. You were clutch. They needed a center.
My man.
And you did the
My
job.
man.
You did it really well, too.
Yeah, I don't know. I like winning more than I like playing defensive line. So when we showed up against ADR and we didn't have a center and there was like 4 people trying out and the ball was just flying every which way, and I was like, God, man.
Hey, I tried my hardest, okay?
I was like, I went to Ross. I was like, hey, man, I can snap. And he's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, all right, let me see. And I was like, all right. So I did it. And he's like, wow, you didn't tell me that. Like, why didn't you tell me? I was like, because I'm not trying to play that.
He got stuck there.
Yeah. And here you are now, Brock. How does it feel, man? Offensive lineman of the year.
Just if I get like a plaque, can you just put like lineman on it instead of like O-line?
No, we're going to put lineman. You ain't getting no damn plaque.
Make my own plaque, man.
I'll make you a plaque, Brock. I got you,
I
dog.
was like, hey, man, you guys remember that one time I played offensive line?
I'll tell you, it did. I will say it was a shame that we didn't get to see him much on the D line as a result. Because Brock, you've always been a threat in the D line. Hopefully, we get to see more of you there next season.
I remember when I used to just play D line too.
I remember I used to play. Good times.
I mean, hopefully I go back to defensive line because when I play offense, man, I don't know, man. It's just boring. It's not the same as defense. I'm not tired when I leave. I'm not sore when I leave.
No, I kind of get that.
He going back to defense, dog. I told him I got him. That's my main mission. He going back to
Yeah.
defense.
Yeah, I don't know. I like
Alright,
defensive line. It's a lot more fun to play.
Consider it done, Papi Chulo.
Yeah.
Damn right.
But once again, congratulations, Brock.
Rockimus.
Next season, hopefully, you get your wish and the Warriors can find a center.
We already got one.
Do you?
Yeah, he's good.
Oh, you want to let us in on the inside scoop?
Hell no, that's way too early for that.
Way too early? Okay, I got you there, bud.
I don't care who it is, as long as it's not me.
Yep, I already talked to Brock. I don't care if I have to snap all season to get better at it. Brock,
I mean, I might just have to get back if you're going to play it.
He see my snaps. He knows what's up.
You looking
They suck.
like swole out there, just throwing that thing.
It's just throwing it. Me, that is funny because that's it. That's kind of what reminded me of my snaps when I used to watch J-Dub snapping. Man, I was like, damn, I feel his pain, man. That's exactly how mine were. The only consistent part about my snaps were the inconsistency.
Man, I told Jay, I was like, man, just keep your head down the entire time. Get Ricky the ball.
Yeah.
Don't even look up.
Yeah.
Mm.
But all right, man, I'm getting off here.
All right, man.
Brock.
Thank you for
Go
joining us.
Warriors.
My man.
All right. So, Brock Klein joining us. He might be the last one to join us, actually, for a bit.
Boy.
Yeah. I mean, I got my award nominees listed, but I don't got anybody hit up, so we'll just probably breeze through these next couple of ones.
Damn. We
Yeah.
did like league MVP or nothing, did we? Quite yet?
Oh, we'll get there. It's just like I'm going to go through ones that I don't actually have anybody listed to call in because nobody's actually contacted me to talk and call in. I've already hit these guys up, just haven't answered.
Right.
And I got to get to the awards, so I might as well.
Right.
Starting out with Rookie of the Year. If these guys pop up later, I'll give them a chance to talk. Let's do that. If they answer my messages, I'm not going to wait for them, though. Starting out with your nominee, first and foremost, the new Broad Axe quarterback, Timmy Townsend. What a sensation this kid was, and what a start he had at a young age. Going into Washington County Flag Football League, facing ferocious D-lines like the ones he's against ADR, X-Dogs, Warriors, etc. What a season this kid had. He came out there and balled. He's got a bright future ahead of him if he stays on course. Broad Axe has him on a good path right now. And I feel like if they're ready to go back to traveling again, that's going to really take it to the next level. Also nominated, Ashton Mercer, your guy from the Warriors.
I like it.
You said you believed he led the league in picks, but I don't know about that number.
I'm pretty sure he did.
He was a baller, though, this season.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Ashton Mercer was an absolute baller.
Dude, you want to talk about a guy that just has a knack for being where the ball was going? Same shit. ADR game, first game of the season. We're running low in numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking off the field. He's walking on the field. I was like, who's this guy? And I'm pretty sure he went out and got a pick against ADR. Man, right there. I was like, oh, welcome to the Warriors.
Yeah,
He's running off the field, and I'm running back home.
I think I remember that moment.
And I couldn't have been happier because you want to talk about a guy that's had an knack for finding his place where the ball was going.
And sometimes it's all you need to do. He was just an absolute baller in the field.
He was.
Yeah. Big part of your secondary. This guy is a rookie in the WCFFL. I first saw him last season up in the Keystone Flag Football League for the Ship Flip Gators. Tyler McKeon. We actually interviewed him on Blunt Talk back in March.
I remember that.
I listened to that episode earlier today.
Yeah.
We talked to McKeon back in March. He was very fired up, very hyped up. And I didn't know much about him then, but on the X-Dog this season, he made his presence known, number 15 for the X-Dogs, Tyler McKeon. What a year he had. I believe he actually led them in touchdowns receiving. I remember he was always big in catches for them down the field. A new weapon for Matty Ice to use, and he shined in his first season out there.
Yeah, he did have a good season.
Yeah. Big shout to McKeon, but can't forget about the job Timmy Townsend has done. To be a starting quarterback in the WCFFL, which does play circuit ball, which is a league that's very experienced, to face those defensive lines.
Toughest season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's only a kid, but he came out there and he became a man out there on the field. And that's why Timmy Townsend is your award winner for Rookie of the Year.
I like it. I agree with that.
So, Timmy, shout out. I don't know if you're watching. I did message him earlier to make sure he was available. Haven't heard from him since. Hopefully he'll be available later tonight. We'll do an interview with him and anybody else that wins. Otherwise, congratulations, Timmy, on the victory.
I like it.
I
know X-Dogs aren't here talking about Ty, but Timmy played quarterback.
Yeah. He was asked to step in.
Extra level of playing quarterback.
He had to play quarterback for
Young
Broad
kid.
Axe.
Coming into a Broad Axe franchise.
Yeah, where the likes of Grable,
Right.
Murdiff,
Yeah.
Clancy.
I like it.
Yeah. Tapley. He stepped in.
I like it. Just protesting, but I like it.
I like it too. Townsend's got a bright future ahead of him. Stay the course, kid. Comeback Player of the Year. This one I looked at on a criteria of guys who missed time for injury or whatever, or were questionable for a while. Starting out with Cannon Hall. Do you remember? You don't remember Gettysburg. You weren't there. I was, though.
I thought it was like one of those Men in Black things where Will Smith comes up and hits the light, and everybody's supposed to forget about Gettysburg.
I didn't, and I know Cannon Hall didn't.
I think I remember here.
That was a day in his life that altered his football life. He went up for the ball, came down, and was injured. And that took him out of action for an entire year.
Yup.
And there was uncertainty whether he would even play this season, depending on the status of the field.
Out there in his knee brace and everything.
There was uncertainty. Could Cannon be the same? Was he still as fast as he used to be?
What was that one game I filmed for them? Wasn't it like their second game?
Against Program.
Hey, he's out there in a knee brace.
Yeah.
I thought he was about to Forrest Gump that knee brace. Run right out of that bitch. He looked fast as shit.
Yeah. And as the year went on, he just looked faster and faster. And it was then I realized Cannon's back. Another guy, though, who suffered a similar injury last fall, playing for the Brunswick Assassins, was Joe Aloisi.
True that.
Who returned this year as one of the defensive captains for the Spartans.
Also a knee brace on.
Yeah. And he went out there. He performed well enough. He led the team. He came back from a hard injury to recover from. You got to give Joe recognition for that. He came back from a very difficult injury.
True.
In less than a year's time, too.
True.
He tore his ACL. But he came back. Joe performed. Big shout out to him. This next candidate, though, there was a lot of question about his status about a year ago. We wondered what happened to TJ come playoffs with Broad Axe and X-Dogs. We didn't see him in the spring. We kind of wondered where he was until he emerged on the Red Knights on opening day. And he made his presence known immediately. Then he left for Rutgers and did the same thing on there as their starting quarterback. TJ Williams was just an absolute baller out there for them. He shined. He put up numbers. He turned the team around, got them to the playoffs when it looked like they were drowning in a chance of missing out and going to the B bracket. Gave them the spark they needed. Got them going again. A different kind of comeback player of the year. It's a little bit different. But one nonetheless, because there was a lot of questions of what was the future of TJ as a quarterback or a player. We didn't see him in the spring. Nobody knew where he really was.
True.
But he made his presence known this past fall. But despite all that, Cannon Hall came back from a devastating injury. And Cannon Hall deserves this MVP award.
He does.
CJ was an absolute baller out there for ADR. And Whitney, I saw Whitney's comment just now, yeah. I think the chat is like 15 seconds behind me or something. Like, they're commenting on stuff that's already happened a long time ago. But like,
What'd she say? Run right out that bitch?
yeah.
Yeah, you were just lagging. She said just give Cannon.
Which he deserves, yeah. Cannon,
Yep.
I don't think he's watching, but if he is, you are the winner, sir. You deserve it. Comeback Player of the Year award. He returned to the Cannon of old.
He did. That motherfucker fast, man.
Yeah.
Man.
A big shout out to Cannon. And hopefully he'll get back to me and I get him on the show later on. I thought about telling the winners they won ahead of time, but I was also like, I wanted to be a surprise at the same time.
Yeah.
Understandable. This
I'm
next
surprised I got what I got. Oh, yeah.
coach, hey man, you got what you got. Captain of the year.
Take it.
DB of the year is our next category. Defensive back. Starting out with DeColey Jones from ADR, who's always been a baller. Always stood out. It deserves a lot of recognition for being key to that secondary and that defense that only surrendered about, I want to say it was 10 points per game this past season.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Coley. He stepped up on that defensive side of the ball. As did Tyler Spencer this past season for the Warriors.
Yes. Yes, he did.
Solidifying his spot as a leader of the defense. And standing out on the field. An excellent year had by Tyler. But Ashton Mercer just had a slightly better year. Had a pick in almost every single game, right?
True. He did. He definitely.
Over Tyler, he definitely had a better year. Is it hard? You don't want to say it.
He had more picks than him, but as far as leading the defense and stuff like that, like, our defensive show was Moats and Tyler.
Right.
They run the defense.
Right. So I see what you're going with that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But that being said, on the field speaking, I'm going to have to go with DeColey. Because DeColey is the coldest out there on the field.
You want to know who will look really good in blue?
Coley?
Coley Jones.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You just shooting your shot on Blunt Talk right now?
I'm just taking my captain award.
Captain.
Throw that out there.
I mean, you could try all you want, but you know, you can have him on TBT. I'll definitely always take him on TBT. And you know, Coley deserves the recognition. He deserves a shout out. much praise to Coley Jones, who is unavailable tonight for a call-in, but if he is watching later on, or it happens to be available, we'll try to get him in here real quick for a special call. Once again, Coley, congratulations, bro. You deserve it. One of the most underrated talents out there in the WCFFL. Coming up on our next category.
That's facts, too. He's starting to get recognized now, but he's been good the whole time he's been here.
Yeah.
And that's facts.
Yeah.
I know it's a long time ago. That man can ball. I've been saying for a while now he's the best quarterback in the league. Yeah, has been the best quarterback in the league for a while.
Yeah.
Almost the whole time I've been here.
I've been saying he's the best
If
corner.
not, the whole time I've been here. Because he play cornerback for Survivors.
Yes, he did.
I'm pretty sure I've been saying he's the best cornerback. But he can also play wide receiver and do that damn well, too.
Yeah.
Man, Coley, that guy, man. For real. He would look really good in blue. All right, move on.
You sound desperate. Is this how you built your team?
Is this how I've been building my team?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking you, is this how I've been building my team?
Yes.
Partially. It's all part of the plan, Stan.
You're too much, Ross.
I know. And don't ask me for no beer, because you're going to sound real desperate if you do.
I didn't ask you. I was just trying to figure out which beer was full, which one was empty. I ain't that desperate. Anyways. Moving on to Offensive Skill Player of the Year. Your nominees for this one was Mouse for ADR, who ultimately led the team in touchdowns by the end of the playoff run. A very underrated part of their offense that people kind of forget about.
I feel like if you ask half the league who Mouse even was, they probably wouldn't be able to tell you.
I feel the same way.
He does it so quietly.
Mm-hmm.
He always has.
And you can line him up anywhere on that offense, and he can just go out there and ball. I've seen him play quarterback and just shred defense like it's nothing.
Yep.
Wide receiver, that running back position out of the backfield that him and Boone run. Yeah, silent assassin.
Yep.
Also nominated from Ruckus is Derek Dehaney, who has been an absolute monster for that receiving core in recent seasons on terms of putting up yards and points. In fact, when you look at it, he wasn't there for that playoff game.
Very unfortunate.
And when you think about it, he had 3 touchdowns against Broadaxe the first time he played them. That's a lot of production missing coming out of that playoff game when you look at that in retrospect. So that's something to think about is how good would Ruckus' offense have been without Dehaney? Because Dehaney, when he's out there, even when he's not making receptions, he's drawing coverage to him. That gets guys open like Beep and Dustin and everybody else. That allows a lot of passing routes to develop. Dehaney's just a threat out there. A big time threat. Another guy who's also a little low key that nobody really talks about.
Mm-hmm.
Joey Such.
Correct.
And Joey honestly could have been an argument for comeback player of the year because he was somebody who was kind of forgotten about for a while in the Broadaxe offense. But this past season, Joey reemerged.
He did.
In a big way, helping out Timmy Townsend and helping him navigate this offense through and through. Joey's always been a threat of the backfield. He's hard to cover. He's quick. He makes that first step, and he can make a lot of guys miss. He's always been doing that for the longest time, and this past season, he really was key to that offense.
He was.
But you can't underrate Mouse in this. You really can't. He defines offensive skill player. He could be moved just about anywhere on that offensive side of the ball. Maybe even line, for all we know.
What do you have? 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns against us in playoff game? I was like, man, I'm so tired of Boone throwing the mouse, man. Damn it, man.
Because when Mouse catches it, he just goes.
How have we not stopped that bomb, man?
Nobody could seem to cover Mouse.
Damn it.
And that's why Mouse is our winner for Offensive Skill Player of the Year. He's a big threat. He puts up the points. But like I said, silent assassin all the way through.
Yeah, he is.
He don't say much, and people don't seem to realize he's there.
I'm telling you, most of them are sitting there right now being like, he's a mouse.
I can believe it. The Coley Jones is watching. Coley, if you're watching and you want to call in, let me know.
Take your memory shine, man.
You deserve it, brother.
Take a minute. Take a minute. Talk about yourself.
This next category is quarterback of the year.
That don't help, man.
I think he tagged him in the post. I don't think he...
Right. Yeah, you're probably right.
I don't think he needs to tell everybody who Mouse is. Oh, jeez.
Mouse a baller, though, for real.
For real, for real.
Seriously.
Mm-hmm. Our next category is quarterback of the year. The nominees are the following. Chris Boone for Adrenaline Rush, who, let it be known, Chris Boone averaged more points per game than any other quarterback in the WCFFL this past season.
That's wild.
Yeah. And people forget, Boone wasn't there for half the season.
That's wild as shit.
When Boone stepped in, ADR's offense was on a whole other level. I think I had the calculator earlier. 31 point, or no, let me see. I actually think there's a post. I want to get it accurate. I don't want to screw the number up. Let me pull that number up. Okay. Boone, on averaged 31.6 points per game. The X-Dogs averaged 22 points per game. That was the highest rated offense all season.
That's wild.
Yeah. That's something that... And I kind of want to run the numbers real quick. I hate doing this live, but I kind of want to see what ADR's numbers were like without Chris Boone.
I was going to say, are you comparing that to all of ADR's games? Or are you just comparing that to...
In Boone's 5 games, he averaged 31.6 points per game. That's random.
Sorry, I'm going to call them.
All good, bro. You got to do what you got to do. Go disappear. Let me know when you come back. 627. 52. I'm doing the math. Okay. So ADR without Boone in the 5 other games only scored 52 combined points. So he averaged roughly 10 points. That don't seem right, but I'm actually doing the math in my head again, and yeah. 52 points per game, ADR averaged about, or 52 points per game total they scored. 10 points per game they averaged. 31 with Boone, 10 without Boone. That's a dramatic drop-off. And that showed the impact Chris Boone had this past season. Also nominated Matt Eisenberg for being the absolute leader of that offense. Eisenberg stood out a lot. He led the X-Dogs to 22 points per game, the most in the league among any team. Great season overall by Matt, leading the offense along the way. Got the X-Dogs to 8-0. Fantastic season. Got them all to the championship game once again. Just fell a little short. Also nominated is TJ Williams. TJ had a great season, a good season for Ruckus. He helped turn the offense around. Got into the postseason at 5-3. Won them a lot of games. He was a difference maker in the end. They looked like a B bracket team for a little bit there. There was uncertainty at quarterback with Steven Renner and his future and Ryan Lockhart. Nobody knew what was going to happen. TJ stepped in. He was a saving grace for Ruckus, and he got him to 5-3. But at the end of the day, if we're looking at results and we're looking at numbers, I'm going to give quarterback of the year to Chris Boone. So, Chris, congratulations on the award. You're getting a call, bud. If I can get him to answer. It's ringing, but I'm not seeing anything yet. Boone.
What's going on, man?
Congratulations, quarterback of the year. How's it feel?
Oh, shit. I wasn't expecting that. Heard, Matty Ice might have had that locked up since they went 9-0.
He may have had the best record, but if you look at the overall numbers, Boone, I ran it earlier, you were averaging 31.6 per game.
Oh, shit.
That was more than any other quarterback by 9 points.
Yeah, that's what we do at ADR. 30 a game is. I've only had one season under 30, and that was the first year, and it was 29.9. So.
Shut your bitch ass up, Boone.
So, hey, 30 a game is what it is. That's what we shoot for, man.
But the crazy thing was, Boone, in the games you didn't play, ADR averaged only 10 points per game.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when them guys are used to playing with me for so long, and then just having we had a quarterback play his first game ever, and then, Jacob came out of retirement, sort of, something like that, where he just hadn't played 9 man in a year and then came out and played. So it was tough for those guys. So, I mean, our offense is still good without me, but, without your quarterback, any team would struggle.
And that was the one thing, when you were there, ADR was a more complete team overall. Jacob did a good job stepping in. He did earn about, I want to say, 3 wins or 2 wins as starting quarterback for ADR.
Yeah, he got us 2 wins, and they were huge because I think I got 3 at the end of the season and gave us 5-3, put us in the playoffs. So without his 2 wins, shit, we would have been sitting home. So
yeah,
so we needed it.
But without you, Boone, a lot of uncertainty. Does ADR still win it all? Boone may be the GOAT. He's definitely earned the spot for this league.
Yeah, I appreciate the award. I appreciate the award. I appreciate everything you and Ross do for the league also. So, I mean, it's pretty awesome that you have things like this to keep the guys interested and goals to shoot for.
And we appreciate having you as part of our league, Boone. It's a real honor, man.
Yeah, man. I like doing the talk shows. Shit, I like playing. I like watching all the games. It's like you said before when you was talking about the KFFL tournament that we just did. I mean, we didn't get to finish, but Saturday felt like a county day. Everybody went out there and hung out. It was like everybody was friends, and everybody had a good time and enjoyed themselves. So.
And that's what it's all about, is going out there, having a good time, and playing some good ball. And Saturday was fun. It's been good spending a lot of time with you all year, Chris. The last couple of years have been great watching you on the field. Yeah. We look forward to seeing where your career goes over the next couple of months, especially with Nationals coming up. I do understand you're doing both 9 and 5 man.
Yeah, we're doing 9 and 5. We went down to Bowie last weekend. They're supposed to have the best 5-man league in the country, and we went 5-0-1. We played 6 games in one day, so which is a little tough. But to go 5-0-1, I mean that's huge
That's 7-0-1 for the entire weekend, Boone. That is
for the
insane.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, you had an excellent weekend. 8 games, 7 wins.
Ain't wrong with that.
Yeah.
And we should have won the game that we tied, but a little monsoon happened while we was playing in the middle of that game, and you couldn't throw a pass over 5 yards. The rain was coming so bad. I mean, you couldn't see like 10 feet in front of you, so everything you had to do was like a shovel pass or a run play. So if it wasn't for that, we would have went 6-0 on the day.
Well, best of luck next time, Boone. I believe
All right.
you got a lot of tournaments
Appreciate
coming
it.
up in the next month or so.
Yeah, like Chili said, States, here we go. He rocks with Showtime. He's done 2 tournaments with us, 2 8-man tournaments throughout Virginia on Showtime with us, and we got our state tournament coming up December 13th and 14th, and looking forward to that. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for the award, and I'll be watching the rest of the show.
All right, Boone. Thank you for joining us once again. Congratulations
Man.
on the award.
Boone,
Hey, thanks, man.
You to go, Boone.
Thank you, brother. All right, fellas.
Later.
Peace.
Peace. So Chris Boone joining us now. And who's running strong?
He to go.
Is 2019 his best year?
I don't give a fuck what anybody says. He's a goat.
Is 2019
Boone to
his best year, though?
There's been plenty of other fun quarterbacks. Boone the goat. Boone the goat.
I'm going to check out that pic Trey just said about Instagram and DMVFFL with Boone throwing the milk. I had to check that out. That sounds awesome. You got Instagram. Look it up, Ross.
Going to. I actually follow them. It didn't pop up on my shit though.
Oh,
But
bet.
I'll look them up.
Our next category is Defensive MVP. Your nominees are once again Decole Jones. I already went over what he did this past season. Chili, who added another layer, another dimension to that X-Dogs defensive line. We talked about the impact that Brady had earlier. Chili was arguably the best free agent acquisition of that past summer. Because that only made the line deeper. And Chili as an edge rusher arguably ranks among, if not the best in this league. And he really shined. Oh, was this a play?
Yeah.
Oh, that was beautiful. Nice.
Boone doing what Boone do.
But also consider Ashton Mercer for the Warriors.
What are we talking about now?
Defensive MVP.
All right.
A big part of your secondary stepping up in every game and getting an interception almost every single game.
Correct.
But I can't overlook Chili.
Yeah.
Major difference maker. The signing of the past offseason. And the defensive MVP of the X-Dogs. Chili.
That son of a bitch had one hell of a season.
Yeah, he did.
Just fall low.
Yeah.
He did.
He
man.
was an absolute
He was
monster.
he was a pain in the ass, man. Straight up.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine for you playing offensive line.
Listen, there's 3 people that I worry about in this league at the block. There's 3 people. There's 3 people that I'm like, I got to work a little bit harder this day.
Who's that?
One's Lance from ADR, Kinsler, and Chili.
Yeah, Lance, Kinsler, and Chili.
They're all kind of 3 different kind of reasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. You know what he means, Chili?
Chili.
I get the gist.
I like it. I like it.
That's my guy, man. I love Chili.
Chili, congratulations. Defensive MVP of the 2019 fall season. How's it feel?
Oh man, it is a honor, especially with all the talent that we have. I mean, definitely a tough category. The other nominees were no doubt well deserved of the award, but like we said, the freaking and, th- and then shout out to Matt for allowing me to join the X Dogs this season. Brady brought out the best in me. Kinsler, Jet, those guys. They with the motive that they have, it only allowed me to elevate my game for me to play even harder, go even faster, just to be the all-around total package that I plan to be. So shout out to my X-Dogs, everybody else in the league. Like I said, whoever else was up for the award, kudos to everybody. Definitely a great season. With that being said, that was my last season inside of the Washington County. I'll be transferred. Everybody know I'm in the Navy. There's a lot of good about the Navy, and the one bad that I do seem to ponder on is just as soon as I get a good group of guys, friends, and establish a relationship and things like that, it's time for me to move. So I greatly appreciate all of the friendship that I established, the relationships, the quality time. When we out there on Saturdays and Sundays, man, that's my wind down time, a way for me to be from the family and to just be around the guys and do manly things. So I appreciate everybody. It's nothing but love. That was my last season in Washington County. When I first got there, shout out to Sean for bringing me on for 2 Broad X. I won my first championship with Broad X, and then I moved on. So I want to thank everybody. Man, I love you guys dearly. Go Navy.
Thank you for being a part of our league, Chili.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
What are your plans so it's your last in Washington County. What are your plans for flag football, though, in your future?
After Nationals, my plan is to hang it up.
Nationals is it?
Yep, that's it. I have
Right.
my younger kids they're coming up in the ranks of playing travel basketball, so I got more than sports. And as we all know, it's family over everything. So I have to make sure that I'm able to get the kids to where they need to be. So me and my wife, it'll be too stressed out for me to be able to keep up with flag football on the weekends and then keep up with the kids basketball. I had my time. I've done everything that I need to accomplish, and hopefully to put the cherry on the top with nationals, and then I could go ahead and live my dreams through my kids, and hopefully you guys will see me on TV one day sitting in the stands with my boys, either in an NBA or a basketball game.
I hope so. I'd love to see that.
No doubt.
Thank you, Chili, for the memories, and I look forward to being part of your journey in Nationals.
Sounds good, Mr. Blaze.
Thank you for joining us once again, Chili.
Chili.
Oh yeah, hey, y'all have a good night, man. Do you got to drive home, Joey?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, be safe, man.
Will do. Trust me,
Yes,
I'll probably
sir.
fall asleep here.
All right, sounds good.
He typically falls asleep on the couch for a couple hours and then goes home, so he good.
All right, bad. Y'all have a blessed one.
You too, sir.
No doubt.
Thank you. Chili joining us. And
So wrap it up.
we have one more award left.
What do you got?
Offensive MVP.
Offensive MVP. Who could it be?
Your nominees are Matt Eisenberg for another undefeated regular season that he put together. An offense that ranked the highest in the league.
Us against Exos this season was
One of the
Probably.
greatest games.
probably the greatest game I've ever been a part of in flag football.
Yeah. It's up there.
That shit was a Dog.
We'll see where that lands at in the top 20 game of the year countdown. Which we're at number 17 tomorrow. Can't wait for that one. But Matt Eisenberg, what a season, what a year he had.
Correct.
You realize, Ross, the X-Dogs only lost 3 times this year.
Right.
Once in Ocean City,
Right.
once in Keystone, once in County. 3 losses is all they had. And a big part of that was Matt Eisenberg leading the way. Especially in that quarterback position. Your other nominee for Offensive MVP is T.J. Williams. For once again, we've already went over it. He's up to Denver Ruckus. Did an excellent job navigating the way. Got into the postseason.
He did.
When it looked like they had
Completely turned
no...
that offense around.
It looked like they had no hope there mid-season. They were in... Renner had left. Lockhart was the potential starter. It didn't look good. Nobody knew what was going to happen. But T.J. Williams stepped in, and he was arguably the MVP for Ruckus. And this last nominee, Timmy Townsend, to be his age and to step into the league he stepped into
Right.
is a difficult thing to do. But he
Right.
did it. And he excelled. Enough so that without him, one could argue Broadax may not have made it as far as he did. But his calm and composure and ability to play the game really shined. But despite how it ended, I can't overlook how it all went for Matt Eisenberg and the X-Dogs. And that's why Matt Eisenberg is your offensive MVP.
As he should be.
He is the glue to that offense that holds it together. And that's something that I've realized as time has went on with this X-Dogs team. That's something I saw firsthand Saturday when he went down to injury. So, Matt, if you are watching, I hope that you recover soon and that we see more of you next year. Because what a year Matt Eisenberg had in 2019. 3 losses overall. A Keystone Championship, county runner-up. 3 wins in Ocean City.
Don't call him Matty Ice for no reason.
Yeah.
We did not call him Matty Ice for no reason.
Congratulations, Matty Ice. And congratulations to all the winners tonight. Thank you once again for joining us. Next week, we will have another episode. It'll be the All-Decade Show, where we'll reveal the top 20 All-Decade Power Rankings.
It'll probably be Tuesday.
Tuesday?
It'll probably be Tuesday.
You told me Tuesday today until Monday, and then it changed.
You already know.
We'll let you know what day it's going to be.
Depends on what day my cornhole is next weekend.
Depends on when cornhole is for Ross. Until then, I'm Joey Blaze. Y'all have a good night. And we'll see you next week for the All-Decade Show.
Sweet.